On ASEAN, Amir Hamzah said it has consistently maintained a neutral stance in its relations with both the United States and China, a position that remains central to the region's diplomatic approach. Although the positions of the United States and China often differ significantly, he said ASEAN has consistently performed well by maintaining a neutral stance, fostering trade among its members and with both major powers without becoming entangled in conflicts.
And I think that's what we will continue to want to do, because a much more harmonious, a much more open mechanism allows a better outcome than a fractured mechanism. The sum of the parts, surely the whole is better than the sum of the parts. And we are been able to prove that in the past, and we want to continue to work towards that in the future.
He said this approach enables the bloc's 10 member states, including Malaysia, the current ASEAN chair, to build constructive relationships with both global powers while preserving regional stability and unity. Addressing concerns that individual member states engaging separately with the US might contradict ASEAN's message of unity, Amir Hamzah explained that the varying levels of development across member countries must be taken into consideration. As a collective, ASEAN is a significant force with a combined gross domestic product of nearly $3.8 trillion, making it the fifth largest economic bloc in the world.
Singapore is probably very high up the value chain, and other members may not be so high up the value chain, and their nature of their exports and imports are also very different, and the skill sets that exist in the country are very different. ASEAN as a bloc has potential. I think there is no misalignment in that instance, and we will continue to push to enable greater inter-ASEAN trade and predictability and deployment of joint projects in infrastructure and so on. That is beneficial for the ASEAN economy overall.
Regarding ASEAN's immediate response to the US's reciprocal tariffs, Amir Hamzah explained that the bloc's initial approach was to refrain from confrontation in order to preserve space for dialogue. ASEAN continues to uphold its commitment to a multilateral, rule-based mechanism.
We want a multilateral trading mechanism to continue to exist. We want a rule-based mechanism to continue to exist. And I think each member states have agreed on those high-level principles. But we're also practical in understanding that there may be differences between each state, and there may be differences in prioritization that each state may want. So therefore, bilaterals will continue to have to exist. But what ASEAN will do is we'll find alignment between the bilateral discussions that are happening, and we will share information.
In the meantime, Amir Hamzah stated that Malaysia aims to maintain strong ties with the United States.
We provide an environment that US companies are able to prosper in Malaysia. Intel has been in Malaysia since 1971. If you go back to other companies, they've been even longer since independence along the way.
He believes that such mutual understanding and approach are achievable as both countries have consistently approached the partnership with mutual respect. On Malaysia's approach over the 24% reciprocal tariffs, Amir Hamzah said Malaysia has already started its discussions with the US on it.
We've also always seen that over the years, in order to lock up any bilateral arrangement, to lock up trade agreements, it takes a while to work through the technicalities. But it starts with first conversation and first principles, and then continued dialogue to close the gaps.
On April 24th, Investment, Trade and Industry Minister Tengku Zafrul Aziz met with US Trade Representative Jamieson Greer and Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick in Washington, D.C. The ministry highlighted that Malaysia remains committed to working with the United States to find mutually agreeable